Okay, so how do we recap? What do we do when we have interruptions? Days have gone by, family, friend, work. How do you re-engage? So I'm gonna assess the situation. I gotta start on all of these, and I wanna try to finish one more than the other. So I'm going to neglect this one for now, because the textured paper is my least favorite. And the sanded paper is a new thing that I've learned. This is the Pastel Premier. I'm very curious about that. So I'm curious, and I'm asking myself questions like a scientist. I wonder what would happen if I dissolved some of that a little more. And because it's sanded paper, I can do that. However, these other two papers I can't wet. Now I know these gentlemen here have brought in their shop sandpaper, and they're gonna experiment with that because they were very curious about what it would be like to build layers. And I think it would be helpful to them to try that. And again, here we are working with oil painters and pastel painters. How do we communicate to these two different mediums without confusing everyone? So that's why I'm using my words to try to explain this. So I'm gonna be focusing on this one and that one. And when I re-engage with a painting, I usually wanna go to the thing that's gonna be the most fun. So I've made my decision right now. I'm gonna pull my water over, and I'm gonna see what happens when I dissolve that. Stir this a little bit. And remember, I was using the Richardson hog bristle brushes. I love filberts. Filberts come to a point. And yesterday I used 2 different sizes, actually 3. And I started with, I think, a 6, and then I went to a 4, and I went to a 1. Now, being both oil and pastel, I want to make sure I don't mix these brushes up. What if I grabbed an oil painting brush and used it on my sanded paper? There's still going to be some residue in this, and we don't want that to get into the paper. So it's best to separate your brushes, keep them, the ones that play with water and the ones that play with oil. But I chose the hog bristle brush because it's more durable. It's more rugged, and so when I drag it across the sandpaper, it will wear it down. So if you have a $50 brush, you probably don't want to do that. But I like this brush, and I'm going to use it. I wouldn't use the synthetic brush unless it was a smoother surface, like multimedia artboard. And I often will do that because it doesn't snag and rip it up. It's a much smoother sanded surface. And to highlight, so you understand, the sanded surfaces come in number grids. The higher the number, such as 500 or 600, is going to be smoother, and the lower the number, it's going to be more textured. And Leslie, what is this texture here I'm working on?
It's about a 400.
It's about a 400. So it's fairly textured. So I'm not using the synthetic. I'm going to go back to the hog bristle.